Hey, good evening. It is the noon hour, and my name is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, and I'm coming to you to assist you in having a breakthrough Christmas. It is possible to take this month, which may be a very difficult month for you, and turn it around and make it a month that is a breakthrough, not only for your Christmas, but for your life. So first, you have to determine, what does a breakthrough look like for you? Is it emotional? Is it spiritual? Is it physical? Is it financial? What are those areas? Maybe it's a relationship that you really need boundaries for. And today we want to begin chipping through to get to that breakthrough for you. But you have to know what that vision is. You have to know where you're headed, right? And a map, you just don't get on a highway and think, well, I'm driving, I'm going somewhere, I'm moving. But you have to have a destination. And that's what this month can be. Certainly, it can be. So, thank you all for joining me. For those of you who have continued to be with this program and this noontime hour, I'm very grateful. I'm very honored, and I do pray that God is going to use something that's said today to give you a spark, to give you a way in which to chip away to be able to get that breakthrough. Today, I want to speak to, what do we do if we know, and you probably know at this point in time in the month, if you're going to have your children for Christmas. Some of you may not, or perhaps it's that Christmas Eve that once was very regular and traditional. Now you don't have the kids, whenever that is. And if you do not have children, and this is not an issue for you, consider using this information for that alone time that you will have during the Christmas season. But specifically for those who have children and you now know that your children are not going to be with you on Christmas Day, I remember my own experience, and this has been 22 some years ago, probably 23rd Christmas, I don't know, a long time ago. But I vividly remember it. I remember that ache, that truly physical body ache, because my children were not with me at Christmas, and they were 14, 16, and 18. So I had established a lot of traditions during that time. And so for them not to be there was totally strange and odd. Well, I now know that we need to give ourselves time to grieve. And I did acknowledge it back then, but I'm much more wiser about it now, the importance of grief. So it is okay to give yourself time to grieve right now during this experience. In fact, it may even be necessary. Now, you don't want to stay there, but you do want to acknowledge, I am grieving the loss of tradition, the loss of having my children here. That's honest. And one thing that I have been working on in the past 22 years, coming from a relationship where I rationalized everything to survive it, I have determined to be more honest with myself. And I'm going to invite you to do that as well, to be able to articulate, to write down, to help us understand what are those honest feelings that we're feeling right now. Do that, because it is critical for your health. So if it happens that you're not going to have your children, you can change the date of Christmas. And I'm sure you know this. There's nothing set in stone that says you have to celebrate Christmas on Christmas Day. So whatever that date is, consider that Christmas Day and act as if it were the 25th of Christmas. So you can change that date, and you can acknowledge this is our Christmas Day. And so you can begin to create that special event of Christmas Day. So what do you do on that date? Well, you can do a couple of things, and I will tell you that structure is critical for you to get through the day. You don't have to stick to it. You don't have to have an agenda that's hour by hour, but for you to have some structure is going to give you something to hold on to during this time. So get some structure. Perhaps you can buy yourself a very special dinner ahead of time, or during that day, since stores are sometimes open now on Christmas Day. So prepare yourself, buy yourself a very special dinner. Take care of yourself during this day, because this is hard. This is difficult stuff. This is a loss. And so you need to counter that with having compassion on yourself and taking good care of yourself. So make that special dinner. If you're invited on an event that day, go, but give yourself an out. In fact, you may even mention to the person who's throwing the event, I thank you, I'm going to come, but don't be surprised if I go home early or if I simply feel that I need to go home. Please don't be offended by that. It's just where I'm at right now and I need to do it. And then pat yourself on the back because you got yourself out of the house. You did go try to be with people, whatever that looks like through this COVID time. And true if you're having a Zoom call with friends during that date and time. I will be here noon on Christmas Day, and I will be speaking. So if nothing else, come join me. Maybe I'll even make it a little longer. We can hang out together if you would like to. So accept those invitations. Give yourself an out. Start creating a journal and a vision for 2021. I know you may feel, I can't bear the thought of looking ahead. Well, don't look too far down the road if you're in the middle of the trauma of divorce, but begin thinking about, what do I want for 2021? What do I really want? And just start thinking and jotting it down. In fact, you could even buy yourself a special journal so you could begin writing those things down. Begin trying to see a vision for 2021. And unless you know something to go after, you're going to flounder. You're going to be a reflex to your life. You don't want to be that. So begin that journal. Read a great book or reread. I've always wanted to reread the old classics that I read, like in high school, A Tale of Two Cities and Steinbeck. None of his titles are coming to mind right now. But I've always wanted to reread those. Find an old classic, or of course, your favorite movie. Whatever it is you need to do to help yourself, to give yourself structure, to get through this day without kids, or simply because you're going to be alone during this time. So the breakthrough, what's the breakthrough here? That maybe, just maybe, your life is up to you to create. It's up to you. Don't wait for someone to come to your door to rescue you, to give you direction, give you things to do. No, now is the time to say, maybe, just maybe, it's up to me. It's meant to be, it's up to me, as the old cliche goes. You have the authority to determine which way your life is going to go. Now, to be wise, of course, we want to bring God into this, and we want to rely on His word, which is powerful. Powerful. And of course, this time could be a time for you to draw closer to who God is, to understanding what God has for you. And if you're at a loss, I don't know how to pick up the Bible and begin reading, start with the book of John in the New Testament. That's a great place to begin. Find an easy read, a New International Version, or there are several easier readings out there for you to pick up too. So the scriptures say, and this is something God gives us to hold onto during this time and all times. He says to us, do not be anxious for anything. Wow. That's a huge statement. Don't be anxious for anything. Then what do I do with all this anxiety? But in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving. I love that little note in there, with thanksgiving, because we do have things to be thankful for. Present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And that comes from Philippians 4, 6, and 7. They only allow me to put so many words on the banner here, so I couldn't fit it at all on. So be anxious about nothing with prayer and petition and thanksgiving. Say, God, help me. And one thing I love about God is you don't have to come in any certain language. You just have to come with your heart and say, I am lost with what to do with myself here. And when you open yourself up to the very safe God, you'll be amazed what things begin to happen in your life. You're going to make it through this time without the children. You're going to be okay.